The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki.
Hello, here I am. Welcome to the show. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for tuning in. I am so excited to do this show because it's all my favorite people in one space. Joined through the internet with me as Brian Frangie, new sidekick. Everyone's talking about it. People love him. People are excited.
He's the greatest.
Brian?
Oh, yes.
Hello.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Hello. I thought we were going to go
Jump
through
on
everybody.
in, Bri.
Oh, yeah. It's just so great to be talked about finally. And
Yeah.
To be talked about.
yeah. I don't care what it's for. It's just as long as I'm talked about, that's fine.
Someone said that the moment they fell for you was like, oh, it was a humble moment. I guess the word humility is in the word humble. I guess they're from the same root. But like you were being humble about, you said something and you go, oh, you were on a rant and then you go, and I forgot where this is going. You just were honest. And I think most people would just try to like weasel out of it, but you just admitted that you lost your train of thought. And that was like, people like that.
Yeah.
Brian Frangie is a honest person.
He is
He's
an
one of the
honest
most honest
person.
people I've ever met.
I think it's a spectrum issue. But that's not up to me to decide.
No, that's
But
not
that's I
on
also
you.
have a spectrum issue with honesty as well. Of just like saying things
They're
that are a
called
little
Time
bit
Warner
too.
now, just so you know.
Oh, that's true. But Brian
worked for
is
me.
here, and Noah is here from Arizona, and Anya is here in New York, and then in studio you've already heard his voice. He's breaking all the rules. It's Chris Convy,
Yay.
my lover.
Breaking all the
He
rules.
doesn't care
It's
for
not
that.
how- yeah, it's not how
Well,
I
you
preferred.
sang to me the song "Lover" on my birthday. My birthday's coming up, by the way, so get ready.
Again?
Wait, I heard a
aging.
rumor
I know
that
you
Seems
don't
like
want
this
me to.
happened like every
did Chris
year.
learn that on piano?
Yeah, it was so cute.
Yeah.
That
just
is
was like-
amazing. That
he
is
set
the
up his
gift of
little
all
keyboard.
gifts.
Sorry, it was little.
no.
It's not little. It's
Masculine energy.
I know. Here, it's coming through. No, he set up his key. He came over and with like a big keyboard. Everything looks big next to him, and he's
Big man
a
with
little guy.
keyboard.
And so it was his little keyboard, and then he took piano lessons and learned over.
Oh, really? You
Wow.
took
That's
lessons, Chris? How many lessons?
Oh, well, I was taking lessons, and then I was like, hey, I need to do this really adorable, sweet little thing for my
Little thing.
lady.
Well, he's a cutie because even I one time, I'm sorry if you don't want me to share this.
I don't
but
want you to
think-
share anything
I
ever,
know,
basically. That's
anytime-
my overall policy.
Well, this is adorable too. And this kind of shows our relationship when we were kind of just not solid yet. Like we weren't back together officially. We were kind of like open with talking about like other things, not other things, but past things. We always have been kind of, but there was a time where you and I didn't talk at all. Like we weren't dating at all. We weren't talking at all. And I was trying to like because my listeners know that I'm totally cool with hearing about past stuff. It almost like revs me up, you know?
Right.
And, but you were telling me that you took
somebody ice skating?
lessons.
Oh,
No, tango lessons. Wasn't that
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Because
I
you were
took-
gonna maybe go meet this girl that it was like a long distance thing, and she was into dancing, and so
Yeah.
he was gonna show up and I go, oh, were you taking tango lessons so you could do the tangaroo with a little Australian sweetie? And I was like, giving you so much shit, but I did think it was so cute. That's such a cute thing. And then another cute thing was
Well, the
revealed-
tango lessons, no, it was actually salsa lessons.
Okay, salsa for that. Yes,
But the tango,
Oh, yeah.
what I was going to do with tango lessons was...
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I was going to, for Sarah Lena, who I'm sure people have heard
Yeah,
you guys talk
everyone,
about Sarah Lena. Sarah Lena is like a really, really accomplished like tango dancer and instructor and all this stuff. And I was going to learn how to do tango, get really good at it, and then be like, hey, could you teach me a few moves? and have her teach me just a few things.
and then bust out.
And then just be like awesome at all of them and be like, God, you're the best teacher.
Oh, yeah.
And then just
That's a really good idea to
Yeah.
do. It's like that's so much effort for a surprise,
But
for
you're
like
like-
a funny joke.
That's
but
like a-
those two were my best friends.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, if this makes them laugh, this could go down
Yeah.
in friendship
Yes.
history.
Chris
I
is
like
a
that stuff.
prankster. I'm learning. You like a good prank, but it's like
Not
Right.
even
An
like a
elaborate-
surprise. It's like
prank.
a,
It's like a
surprise.
positive
An
prank.
elaborate joke.
I like
An
a big
elaborate
positive
joke,
prank
yeah.
like that.
A
where you-
positive prank.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
that's
they're
what it
all
is. Frangie, we should
surprises.
start a show.
Positive pranks.
Yeah.
We go up to people.
I
to
know.
give
I
them
don't like
flowers.
watching prank shows because they're mean and they're deceptive, and people. I don't like crank yankers. When I did that show, it was it was the most miserable I've ever been. Not because that show isn't amazing. It's my dad's favorite show. That's why I said yes to doing it. But thank God I turned off my brain. I disassociated. I literally became a husk of a performer, and then I just read the screen in front of me what people just wanted me to say because I can't deceive people that way.
Well, do you guys remember on the show where we met Brian? Well, where I met Brian. You
Yes.
knew before that. Remember the thing that
Not
probably
safe.
broke you?
Oh my God.
Tinder tap out.
Oh, it was.
It never got
honestly,
released.
I'm not. In the shame that sketch that I probably lost a couple years of my life under the stress of pranking those guys. So what we did was we were trying to see through these guys I met on Tinder with hidden cameras set up in an apartment that was supposed to be mine.
So it was Nikki's show called Not Safe. It was on Comedy Central. And we had this idea that we would get a bunch of these guys to go on a date. They would pick Nikki up at her quote unquote house. We set up a bunch of hidden cameras. And it was Nikki's, the name of the bit was Tinder Tap Out. And it was how many things can Nikki get these guys to do before they're like, all right, we're done.
Yeah, before
yes.
they.
I remember
And so
this.
it's like, change a light bulb. There was all this checklist. Change a light bulb. Put together a couch,
Like
a chair?
IKEA furniture.
A table, yeah, an IKEA like table. One
This
was
is actually
bring
the
me
plot of
Uber
The Last
Eats.
Bachelor. It really is. She had him
It's pretty much every
assemble
relationship. Like,
a
how
couple
much can I get him to do for me before I give up the puss? And so, first of all, I had to go on dates with these guys, which is my number one nightmare when I'm a single person. Is meeting up with someone I met online, and that. This is always what I ask people when they're dating. I go, how awkward is it when you show up for the first time and you have to be like, hey, like you don't know each other. You've only talked online. Like it's humiliating. That alone is humiliating to me when it's done sincerely. And so when I had to fake it and be like kind of into these guys, because you also, when you're a woman, you don't know if these guys who are coming over to your house
Yeah.
and they're bringing you food think they're going to get laid. Probably they're like 50-50 on it, probably more leaning towards like, I'm going to
If
get
you
laid.
invite them into your house on like the very
Yes.
first moment, this is a
So I had
Bang
people in
session.
the next room ready to like step in if they tried anything, but trying something with me is the first attempt of them leaning forward is already out of my comfort zone. By the time someone came in and goes, stop, I'm already assaulted in my mind. Like the move, if someone would have like put their hand on my hip, we would have stopped down and said, hey, this is a joke, don't touch her. But even that first thing to happen, for that to then be intercepted or like it already would have been a violation. It was
So you had like five guys come over.
guys that I had to do this with
At
and,
once?
and no,
Just
and I had to do
throughout
it
the course of the day.
all day long. It was so stressful because I hate lying to people and I also hate making
Dating?
guys waste their time. Yeah, I hate dating.
Yeah,
I
because
do.
it combined a lot of things that you
I
don't
thought
like.
you liked gangbangs.
If all at once would have been a different story. If they all arrived at the same time, we would have had something, going. But it was
Wow.
That's so funny, Anya. It was, and she only knows that because she sees my act. This isn't something I'm talking about because Chris is probably like, "What?" And he hasn't
Yeah,
seen
it's
my
like, oh, this is
gangbang
a
show.
big
you haven't
thing
seen
on
the latest
podcast.
show?
He
I've
hasn't
watched
seen like my
47
gangbang
sets.
material
All
yet,
right.
so I have a lot of
Well, you're
gangbang
in for a
material, but
treat.
it's not, it's not something Chris has seen yet. So I don't want you to think I'm just talking about gangbangs like off stage. It's an act. But yeah, I was just, and then. Well, we couldn't air. The best guy was refusing to give
He
us
refused.
permission.
Yeah. He was the best guy. He
yeah.
was great. And I bet I could find that video.
Oh my god, I don't think I could even watch it. And I remember my grandma died that day too. Remember that?
Oh my god.
It was
Mimi
a rough.
died.
It was a rough day.
Mimi
Yeah, you
died
love
that day.
Mimi.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
man.
awful. It was.
That's what you get.
And my
that's
sister-
what you get for tricking men.
Oh, my sister called me in the middle of it. Yeah, no kidding.
Wow.
That was karma. My sister called me in the middle of the shoot, and I was so wanting to get out of the scene that I just took the call and left the guy to like install the furniture and went in the bathroom and was like, tell me about grandma. Like I was actually taking calls about grandma that I probably wouldn't have taken because I just wanted to get out of the fucking scene. Mimi, I love you. Thank you for saving me that day.
Did you guys
But-
learn anything about like male behavior and dating from that? And also, my second question is, why did it not get included in the show?
What I learned is that like we hated doing it. And that we don't have the temperament for it. Like it takes
Pranking is not fun.
Oh,
it takes a
God,
special
no.
kind of person to do that and have no sort of like qualms about it.
Yes.
But also that guys, like these guys were all sweet.
Yeah.
And like they were kind. And
They were probably looking for girls. They were probably Brian Frangies back in the day, like looking for a friend, looking for a partner. And then we paid them back for the food they bought. We, offered to pay them for the. I mean,
we paid them. Yeah, they got stuff out of it, but it's like
it's just
it
not
just wasn't.
fun
Yeah, it wasn't
tricking.
fun. But
it's not fun wasting someone's time.
But it was nice that like they were.
They thought I was gonna fucking blow them. It's like what a disappointment to think that you're gonna get.
That's
that.
a huge letdown. Like if you'd match with somebody even on Tinder and you're like so excited. Imagine if you're just like, oh my god, I have a date.
And it leads to an actual date.
Yeah.
Brian, how many times, as someone who we used to call Bumble Brian because you were so much on the apps, and you went on. You said in 1 year you went on. Like 200 dates, like it was something insane. Like
dates
every
with
other day you
over
were dating.
50 different women, multiple dates a week, sometimes multiple dates a night. In my search for the one,
that is wild.
And you found the one, but before you found the one, I want to say like, and I read this a lot on the dating advice subreddit because it's just a fascinating subreddit where people are just sharing how hard it is out there. And I did this a lot on dating apps when I was on there. I would get matched with someone and that would be enough for me. I don't want to meet them. It's the dopamine hit of like, I could if I wanted to, but I'm too scared to meet this person in person. I'm not really interested in getting to know this person, but I could if I wanted to. And I hear this happens a lot to guys and girls. You have a conversation and you never meet up. And the person kind of ghosts out. How often is that happening with matches on there?
It's probably like
80%, right?
8 out of 10
like
times.
every week.
How dare you?
It happens so often, and it didn't matter how many times it happened. Every single time it happened, it destroyed me. I was always so hurt.
Can you imagine if you ended up on a prank show after one of them?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, finally somebody matched with me. I could go on a date, and then it's a fucking prank show.
You know what I learned through all of this, which you have to learn these lessons, is like, trust your gut. And my gut was screaming, I don't like pranks. I don't like this. Even when I did Crank Yankers, I turned it down for the second time they asked me because I was like, it wasn't enjoyable.
Yeah.
My dad, I didn't get anything from it in terms of, my dad got it got to see me on Crank Yankers, his favorite show, done. I don't need to do it again.
That is your dad's favorite show?
Like, one of his favorite. He just loves prank calls.
That is so odd.
Oh, okay.
He loves prank calls.
Imagine
Like,
you
he
go
just
on
thinks
a
it's so
date,
fun. And it is a funny show.
Imagine you go on a date and you show up, and then Chris is there, and he just starts tangoing really skillfully, and he's like, "Gotcha," and that's the end of the
so
date.
embarrassing.
Positive pranks with Chris and Frank.
We wouldn't have been able to do it to women.
Start it.
It would have been too mean. And that's the double standard. I mean, the premise doesn't work with women because women aren't desperate to get fucked.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it was that deep of a thing that we were doing.
I know, but I don't think it would. It wouldn't have. Well, actually, women are desperate to get married, though, so that we would have changed the dynamics of it to seem like this is a promising. This guy will give you a relationship as opposed to
Isn't that
love
what
is
Chris
blind.
thinks of
Yeah,
that
that's a
woman
good
who
point.
was curious about whether it's okay to bake because she really likes baking. Bake this guy's favorite dessert on a second
Okay, so
date.
yesterday I was reading from a Reddit thread, and it was in dating advice, and this girl was asking, we went on a first date with this guy. I really like him. We got along so well. And he mentioned his favorite dessert, and I really want to bake it for him for the second date and bring it. How would you feel about that?
It all depends on how that first date went. If it was like some sort of a magical thing and that girl seemed totally cool and normal, and then she did that, you'd be like, oh, that's cool. But if she seemed a little goofy, you might think this is weird. It would all depend on how that actual first date went.
What his
Because it sounds like
it.
sounds like a thoughtful. I like it because I feel like it's thoughtful. So to me, it's like, this seems thoughtful. But if she was...
Can I just say, though, you watched Love is Blind. Remember when Zach is deciding between Irina, the Russian sleepy snake, and then Russian having nothing to do with why she's sleepy or sneaky, but it's just another factor of her, not racist or whatever that would be. And then
I think we can openly criticize Russians right now, can't we?
Not now.
there's one on the podcast.
Well, I
right
know.
now. Yeah, but saying that they're all sneaky, like I don't want to infer that Russians are all sneaky.
Right. I mean, it's the same sort of thing as like Americans when, something bad is
Loud.
happening in the world. It's like, it's not all of our fault. We didn't want that to happen.
Yes, that's a good point.
It's okay.
So the Russian sleepy snake, and then Bliss. Remember when she bakes him a
Yes.
cake for his birthday? Good move.
Yes.
Or, really?
To
But
me,
he didn't pick
I thought
her,
it was,
Chris.
but I thought it was insane of him I thought he was insane for picking that Irina.
That is
yes.
why he did. I don't think. I think it's
is.
why he didn't. Bliss was too easy. She wasn't gonna. She
Wasn't a challenge.
People don't want. She wasn't a challenge. The other Bliss was ready to give him everything.
Yes.
Save the cake for your cake is your pussy. Save it.
Save it for your marriage. That's
I
the
also
wedding
think, I also
cake.
think it depends on him. Like, if he was a reasonable, like everybody knew that Bliss was the right person. Like, it was so obvious that Bliss was
Well,
like.
I didn't know she was the right person. She's better than Irina, though.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
but between those two,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, he isn't mature enough to see that.
Yes.
He isn't. Like, yeah,
He wasn't
like,
ready for it. He wasn't ready to
Yes.
have a mature, loving relationship. He was not
Yes.
ready to accept love. And so he let that snake slither into his life and manipulate him. He did. And she was never in it for love. You could tell from the...
She wanted a hot guy, and she was so sad when she
wanted
didn't
new
get a like.
places to
She wanted a
sleep.
best. She wanted a best friend that she could worship.
I think
And
she wanted to
Michaela-
win. I think she just wanted to win. She wanted.
Yeah.
She
Micah.
probably wouldn't have even been
Oh,
in the Mexico trip or further if she wasn't in direct competition with another woman, because she wouldn't have tried hard enough to get him.
I think you're
Is
right. The
my
competition aspect of all of these things really makes people
Oh, God,
do
yes.
like irrational things. Anya, what did you think of that? Did you think the
Well, I watched the
Bliss
reunion,
move?
Chris. So and I'm Russian, so I really feel like I know Irina a little better than you guys might. No, they raked her over the coals over that reunion. It was
Yeah.
like, you're a bad person, and we all wish the best for you, and we hope you grow. We all think you're a terrible
Wait.
person.
Oh,
We got to get into the reunion because it was, famously delayed because Netflix was
Disaster.
having issues. And so
Right.
it did air eventually, and people could watch it like 3 a.m. or whatever. But Anya watched it. I
right.
did not care. I don't care about what happened. I just want to hear the highlights. So we're going to get to that after the break because Anya watched it and she's going to give us some highlights and we're going to comment on what we thought because we all have watched it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's do it. We'll talk about Love Is Blind and the reunion right after this. All right, we're back. Anya, tell us the big takeaways from the Love Is Blind reunion because I have to say, if these shows do not give it to me straight up and they give me a week to forget about the characters, I don't care. I don't care about getting back in. Netflix, give us a dump of Love Is Blind. Do not separate it by week. I have to think their analytics support what I'm saying and that they lose people every week.
Imagine
Because
how many
these
people they lost from the delay on the reunion.
Oh, yeah.
Waiting
yeah.
3
I mean,
hours.
I bet those people, I bet everyone that waited did watch it though. I did not wait. I would never have just been waiting around for that stupid reunion.
Well, I
Who
didn't.
gives a fuck?
I sat there at 5 p.m. like a dutiful fan, and I waited and waited, and I kept refreshing.
You did not.
I was a dutiful fan, and I even brought my headphones with me to go shoot hoops at the park. And I was like, I'm going to
in
listen.
case it came on.
In case it came on, I kept refreshing, and the more times I refreshed, the angrier and angrier I got, until it got to the point where what the most frustrating thing was there are people on Twitter who are saying, it's working for me now, and I'm refreshing, and it's not working for me. So now all these people are getting the dirt, and I'm sitting there in my
What
basketball.
did you want to see so badly?
Squeaky clean,
Let's
Brian.
talk about what you were dying to see out of that reunion because it's later on. I just want to see if Kwame and Chelsea are still together because
Yeah.
I thought that was going to
Yeah.
implode immediately.
Yes.
And what we do know from our own personal interactions with Tim Convy, Chris's brother, who is in Ludo, which is the band that Zach covered in that song. I know based on when that was brought to Tim, this was shot over a year ago. So these couples got married over a year ago. Are they still together? That's what I want to know about Kwame and Chelsea. The rest, they all lasted. We know. I was blown away that Micah and Paul did not say yes, both of them.
Yeah.
Did they get back together? Is that a bomb that we're willing to drop?
They
right
did
Yeah, please.
date after they broke up. So he said no to her at
They
the altar.
did.
I thought her move at the altar was genius to be like, I think
Yes.
You go
only-
first.
Yeah. I kind of loved Vanessa Lachey's answer. She did not let him get away with something. He was like passive aggressively shaming Micah and saying like, I just didn't feel there were certain things in line. And Vanessa's like, you said she wasn't nurturing enough and wouldn't be a good mother. So
that
can
was
you address
brutal.
that?
What kind of
And he was
person
like,
says that?
I don't really, I just didn't think it was just a thing. She's like, what quality did you need to see? And he's like, because Micah
Caring about his
evident-
well-being.
yeah, Micah was an only child and she and her mom almost died during childbirth, which she's like, you didn't see this on the show, but that's one of the most important things to me is to have a kid. And we talked about that extensively. So that hurt to hear
What a
that he thought it.
demon. I mean, that is a demonic thing to say to somebody. It's like he spent.
Why do I disagree?
He spent 6 weeks figuring out what would hurt her the most, and then he said it in the right after dumping her on the altar. That's the first thing he said was she wouldn't be a good mother.
Did he say it to her
another mean
face?
thing.
No,
They
it's
go-
to camera.
Okay.
Vanessa's like, your mom and Micah were kind of like doppelgangers. And he goes, well, they might have looked alike physically, but there are a lot of differences between them emotionally. And it was like a dig, like my mom is a good mom and she wouldn't be, was sort of the implication.
No, I don't hear that. I just hear Micah's not, maybe Paul is you can villainize Paul all you want for what he's saying. He's not giving you specifics because that would be meaner. So what we're injecting in there is a bunch of stuff that he didn't even say because he's trying to be nice. He's trying to give an answer for why he said, we need to hear why he didn't.
He said she wasn't nurturing. And it's just a quality that emanates from someone. I can't explain it. I just
what would you
didn't
want
get
him
the
to
vibe.
say? Do you want him to lie? What do you want him to say aside from what he felt?
It's like he stumbled upon. I don't think he maybe was malicious, but it's like he stumbled upon the meanest possible thing he could say.
I think
what
he's
would
in
you
love
prefer?
with his
Would you
mother.
want him to lie?
And she's not like his mother, and he wants a mommy, and he's too scared to say, she wouldn't make me lunch. She didn't ever cook for me. She didn't do my laundry. But he doesn't want to say that because it'll sound anti-feminist or something. So he's like, it's just a vibe. I can't.
They should
put
have
my
never
finger on
been
it.
together. He should have, Micah should have been with Kwame the whole time.
Kwame, as soon as Kwame and
Yes.
Chelsea get married, and then Chris and I are watching it, Kwame and Chelsea say yes. And then after that, it's Micah and Paul. And I go, there's no way that Kwame is hearing the news of their breakup and going like, hey, can we like go back to my wedding and like, can I change my answer? Because he was in love with Micah. The way his face would light up as soon as she would walk in the room, the way he would put his hand on
my
his
God.
chin and just have this little boyish grin when he looked at her was so hurt. If I were Chelsea watching that footage back, I mean, she saw it all happen because they did it right in front of her like a piece of scum. But then upon watching it again, I don't know how that couple is still standing after watching their little poolside chat where she kept like touching his face. Disgusting. I don't have any stake in this, but I don't fault Paul for thinking she wouldn't be a good mother. I don't. And having that be a reason, because if let's say the opposite, let's say Paul was just like, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. Whatever, gave some bullshit answer. You'd be mad at him about that too. Paul, why? Why did this he was goaded for specifics. He gave them. You don't know what the producers are doing on the other side of this. They're make these people tired. They get them to say things, and then you villainize them for telling the truth. I just don't.
Well,
and
I liked
think,
Micah's point, which was like, I never heard about this at all until I watched the show. So I never once
Right.
during dating this person for a very long time, even after we broke up, we got back together, never heard that he was concerned about something that was a
that's
huge red
shitty.
flag.
Yeah.
Like, at least give me a heads up.
Yeah, at least tell me I'm going to be a bad mom like a couple weeks
give me some
before
heads up.
we get to
And
the
I
altar.
just like, I like villainizing the characters on the reality show. That's like my number one thing is to hate on them after it's over.
No, but I
what's
just
the
think
point?
that they're all this leads to them like wanting to kill themselves. And
Oh,
I'm like
no,
it's
no.
just it's not good to pile on, because I think we're all hypocrites. I think we all operate the
Yes.
same way, and we would under the same circumstances, yet we sit on our little couches, our golden thrones, and say, well, I mean, my couch is a golden throne, if you've seen it. But we all, I just think that people need to chill out with their judgment. And I'm doing the same thing with, I'm not judging Micah. I'm saying I don't care whether she's a good mom or not. But Paul was just telling the truth. And that's what we wanted from him. And now we're mad at him. And now we're saying, I would never think that thing about my partner. Yes, you would. Yes, you have. And definitely on a reality show where you're sleep deprived and you're being manipulated constantly, you would do the same thing. So I think we just need to look at all of this through that scope. But I have not seen the reunion, so maybe this would change my opinion.
I just think it's particularly painful for women because that's like one of our. Not every woman wants to be a mom, but that just hits so deep. Like,
So
and
should
then
he
you're
lie?
gonna no, but like a man who doesn't even experience motherhood, like he is not a mother and is never going to be a mother, but he's gonna tell me
He's not
that
the
I'm not a
arbiter
good
of what a
mother.
good mother is.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but Chris,
Yeah.
haven't you dated women that you go, she would be a bad mom?
If she's
Yeah,
like,
I mean, look at like if you had a kid, I would be like, Nikki is going to be a mom. No, you were going to be a mother.
No, there are people that I dated guys where I go, he's not ready. He shouldn't be a dad. Like, it's just a thing, and it doesn't mean you're. I get it that like I almost died, and so that's my thing. Like, I'm sorry. It doesn't matter if it's your thing or not, or if it hurts a lot. It's honest and it's true. And Paul is a little spectrumy as well. I'm
Well,
sure
we're
that
leaving out something
Back
though.
it
When
up
Paul,
with some evidence, like give one example, like all you do is get wasted with your friends and do crack. Like give an
That's the thing
example.
I think that's the thing that Paul had a problem with, and maybe
Yeah.
he didn't want to say it, was like when he
drinking.
would call her or when
Oh,
she was
yeah.
or with her friends, like they seemed great together, but that was pretty unbecoming when they would go out and she would get hammered like she was in college.
Yes.
Mhm.
And for a guy like Paul, like
Yeah.
a man
that
of
seems like-
science.
a man of science. It's like she's not metabolizing alcohol fast enough.
Yes. Yes.
But like that might not be his favorite thing. Whereas
Right.
another guy would be like,
Yeah.
"This is my perfect girl. Let's go out and
Kwame
party."
wants
just-
to get wasted.
I want to be
Yeah.
clear. I am sad that she almost died during childbirth and her mom died. I'm not making fun of that. We all have something in our past that we could go, but that's extra hurtful because of this thing that you didn't necessarily like. I don't really give a lot of leeway for that.
For those,
Well, we're
things.
leaving
those
out the
things.
fact
Just
that
saying,
when
I
Paul
wanted to be a mom.
said
well,
that
now
about
she won't be with him. Good for her.
when
She
Paul
got out of it.
When Paul said that about her, he also threw up the shocker symbol with his hand, and I think that was totally unnecessary.
I know.
I mean,
why
her
this is
drinking was
triggering
the
me.
issue. Why?
I had someone I dated once tell me like I wasn't ambitious enough, and I was like, by whose standards? This guy was like a workaholic, and I was like, I am.
Did he actually say those words to you?
He was
You're
like,
not
"You're not
ambitious enough?"
excited about things. What are you working on? Why are you not working on anything?" And I was like, "I just finished a web series, an album. I'm working on it. Like, what do you want?" And then I was just like, "I don't like this kind of person. I don't want to date someone that's judging me quietly or loudly."
Yeah,
And
you didn't want to stay with him.
It's like, I'm not up to your standards. Your standards of what a good worker is or like a productive What did I miss that? Sorry.
I said you didn't want to stay with him. Do you know what I'm doing?
She was
You know
alluding.
what I'm doing?
Yeah, I got it. That was good.
Okay.
So I think it's just sort of like, who are you? Like, she doesn't meet your standards of what a good mom is, but like you have some weird standard that you won't even elucidate for us. Thank you. I used a good word.
Yeah, that is a good word, and definitely Paul knows that word. I get it. Like, yes, I guess. I just really didn't like Micah's stinky friend, who I bet
yeah.
smells.
Oh my god! Well, that's
Yeah, I
You're
did not
hating
like
on-
that. I did not like that girl, and I know it's less interesting to talk about things.
Well, Noah said that Zach looked like he had bad breath. I can say that girl looks like she stinks. Her attitude stinks. She's a stick in the mud. She looks like and I stink sometimes. No judgment.
like
Just,
because
she
like
looks
didn't
she
shower stinks.
I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want her borrowing my sweatshirt.
I couldn't. I thought that friend was like the worst person.
She's
I've
the
seen
worst
on the
person
show.
I've ever seen. She's beautiful,
Brian,
and I would want to borrow her sweatshirts, but I would need to walk. And I'm a stinky person too. Don't come at me, and don't send
that's
this
true.
to her, please God. Don't send this to her and be a fucking troll. I'm just saying
She stinks.
she was not nice.
She smells like shit, and there's nothing she could do about it.
Shit, she just smells like she doesn't. There's just, and I'm projecting. I can be a stinky person too.
Brian, do you know who the football coach Tony Dungy is?
Of course I do. He was the Colts football coach, my number one favorite team.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
boy interlude. What
Rose.
does this
I have a friend who says that Tony Dungy looks like he's deaf.
mean? Wait, can you pull up a picture, Noah, of Tony Dungy? Because we gotta confirm this.
He is a soft-spoken, kind man, and he brought the Colts to the championship and won a Super Bowl.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for Tony.
Yeah.
I actually,
What do we all think about this? Was the friend at the reunion?
Well,
No, but they talked about her and they were like, "What are your thoughts?" And
She's a fan favorite, isn't she? There's memes. She's got memes.
They don't actually like her. No one actually wants her in their life. They don't like. She's like,
Micah
I love
defended
New
her.
York.
There he is.
He does.
Oh no,
Yeah.
he's
He
got an
looks like-
earpiece in.
he looks
Oh,
like
well,
the
maybe
actor
that's
who
why.
played Gandhi.
That's not exactly
Ben.
why. Kingsley?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
it kind of does.
I know it's more fun to hate on things, and I couldn't agree with it more, but I want to talk. I think his name's Brent. Is that his name?
Brett.
Brett.
Brett
Brett is
and
the
Tiffany.
best. That Brett like restored my faith in humanity,
Yes.
in
Good
people,
man. Yeah.
Tiffany was cool. She was a confident woman and didn't let a lot of things bother her.
Sleepy,
Sleepy Tiff.
Sleepy.
but not Russian.
But like she was really cool and confident and mature.
Yeah, she was.
He was like a rock solid man.
And you know what? Because they're 36 and 37.
Yes.
Why can't Netflix? Oh, well, first of all, they weren't interesting.
No, it was boring.
So maybe they're doing when Claire Crawley, who was 39 and was a bachelorette, I think, or maybe she was like 36 or 37. Chris was a big
I'm
fan.
interested.
They made her the oldest bachelorette. The season only lasted half the season because the guy got out of the car and she goes, "That's my husband." Yeah. And they're all just like, "Tone it down, lady." And she just knew because first of all, we all know based on personal relationships with people who have been on The Bachelor and Bachelorette, they know right away who they're going to choose. They pretty much the first night they know it's down to like 2 guys or 2 girls. They know they have to pretend like it's for literally the entire season.
I felt the same way when Claire
Crawley
got out of the limo. I was like, that's the one for me.
Chris really liked her, and I just like
She has this thing. My friend Nicole in San Diego has it, and only a couple people I've ever met. But you know who else has it? Ali Wong on Beef. They have this thing. They have curved teeth, and their teeth look shiny all the time. And it looks like someone took Vaseline and put them over their beautiful curved teeth. And she has lip gloss.
She does have lip gloss.
Constant lip gloss.
But no, this is the Claire thing. Is like she's just like constantly like tilting her head and being like constantly. Do you like me more when I go like?
Whoa, what's going on?
Wow,
over there?
yeah, that is
Like
good.
she was constantly like,
you'd be a good mom.
like she was constantly she's exuding sex. Chris, would you agree?
Yes.
And we were talking about there's some women that just have the. I was even saying Micah. What is it about Micah that is so magnetic on this show where we have Kwame and Paul tripping over themselves to propose to her through a wall?
I'll tell you what it is.
But then she's fucking hot too. And once they saw her, they go.
It's the headline of Kwame and Chelsea's story, which is brand new fake eyelashes.
What do you mean?
Chelsea has new eyelashes.
Oh, to kind of match
just
the
like Micah.
vibe.
And I think
fake
adds-
eyelashes. If you're in any doubt about if you want to look hotter, let's for your wife's wedding. Spray tan eyelashes. Those are the 2 things that are going to up your hotness.
Those are 2 separate things. You don't spray tan your eyelash. It just sounded
spray
like
tan. Yes. Get some really tan eyelashes. Yeah. Spray tan and eyelashes are always going to like I would say before a face of makeup, I would get a spray tan is going to make your face look better anyway without makeup. And then eyelashes. They're essential elements because Chelsea, did she look so much hotter?
I have to say, personally, I preferred the before. Even though watching the entire season, I was thinking, could someone slap some mascara on those things at least, or a little top eyeliner?
Micah's, I have to say, I don't like fake eyelashes that are the ones that you used to get, Anya. I'm not judging you, the ones, but the ones like they're extensions.
Yes,
permanent
ruined
ones
my eyelashes.
Don't look good. They look fake and they look too much. Do you know what I'm talking about, Chris? Like,
no, I'm kind of the perfect candidate for observing plastic surgery and like makeup and eyelashes. Like whatever tricks that are being pulled work on me because I'm not looking at a specific thing. I'm looking at a whole picture.
Right.
And so those things, it's
sometimes
hard
I'm
to
like,
identify.
look at her eyelashes. They are too over the top. They like some people have made fun of women with these kind of fake eyelashes and put credit cards on their eyes. And it just looks like straight up just a flat surface of black. And that's what it looked like. Micah's to me were because they'll have no makeup on and then just these it just doesn't
like
look
one of
great,
those
but
dolls that goes to sleep.
Yes,
like those
yes.
eyelashes.
I get offended
like
sometimes
a Muppet.
when Chris doesn't see them. I'm like, you can't see how fake that shit is.
When you point it out, I can.
Yeah.
But I think it's so
I think
ubiquitous
Chris-
at this point. All of these
Yes.
things, all the plastic surgery, all this stuff is so ubiquitous that it's like some of it just looks like what is
it
happening.
is.
And so you're not like, oh, this is wildly different than what a normal human being looks like.
So was Micah just made out to be the like poor? Was everyone just so poor Micah, or was she a little bit
No,
villainized for
she was-
her bullying styles? I guess with Irina.
I think she escaped just fine. She has a new
good.
Taylor Swift dirty blonde hue of hair. She looked beautiful and tan and sad and stoic and handled everything kind of well. But she looked very heartbroken still over Paul and kind of.
No,
But she got attacked a little bit for. There was some rumor that she had told Irina maybe that like I'm never gonna marry this guy. Like they were saying, I think Zach is that the guy with Bliss. Yeah, Zach was like fuming in the corner and was like, I just have to say Micah has been throwing Paul under the bus this whole time and never intended to get married, and I can't believe she's acting like this. But there was just nothing that interesting about the reunion, to be honest. I mean, highlights were Chelsea's
well, what about
eyelashes.
Kwame? Was he like kind of horny for Micah? Could you
No,
tell?
he was.
Or were they
very,
good? Are they good?
They seemed great. They were intertwined
that.
very closely, and
Aw.
he was like, what you saw on the show was edited so much, and I could see why people would
Yes.
think I was so inappropriate. He apologized a lot to Chelsea's family, to Chelsea.
Oh, that's good.
I really love
Kwame, I liked him from the get. Yeah. And then when he did that stuff by the pool, I was just screaming at the
that was
television.
disappointing. But he won me back because when he and Chelsea were good, you were like, this feels good.
Yes. Except that, oh man.
That one-
Haven't we all been, I think I've talked about it before, when they are doing that photo shoot or they're like doing like a try on. Remember she was like trying
they're
on
trying
clothes,
clothes.
and they both were like recovering from a fight that morning, but she was acting like everything was fine. And still being like cute and flirty and being like, I'm having so much fun. And you could tell they weren't having any fun.
Yeah, she kept talking about how much fun she was having.
Oh my God. I think I've done that with you before when we've like not been, we were at a fun thing, but we're both still reeling from like an argument we got in and we try to like fake fun.
Like, this is fun.
Oh, it's
That's like
terrible.
on the Bachelor and
apple
Bachelorette
picking.
where they're like,
Yes.
this is so much fun being with you.
Oh, because they have nothing
Yeah, they have
to
nothing
say
to talk
each
about.
other.
So they're just like, God, I love this is fun.
Yeah.
Hey, if you
yeah.
say it
We're
enough,
expected
you'll
to have
believe it.
fun on
Well,
this
both
yacht.
of them were
true.
like, we loved that photo shoot. I know you guys were making fun of us, but Chelsea's like, doing a photo shoot with Calvin Klein underwear is my lifelong dream. I guess
Why?
she's loved Calvin
I
Klein.
think
her
that
mom
girl
bought
wants
her
to
Calvin
get
Klein.
banged in public. That's her real. She kept saying,
Real talk.
she kept saying this is her dream to do this boudoir photo shoot. Let me interpret that for you. No one's dream is to do a boudoir. That means her dream is to pose nude, and if her dream is to pose like nude with another guy in underwear, she's a voyeuristic person. Guaranteed, they are at hotels opening the windows and banging in front of the window, hoping people see. Guaranteed,
Exhibitionist.
I would bet my
Yeah.
life on it that these two are voyeurs.
I'm pretty
Or she
prude
is.
and pretty
Exhibition.
uncomfortable with, like
Exhibitionist, yes.
all the
Sorry.
talking
Yes.
about private things
Opposite.
in public. But I thought her openness about all of that stuff, even though it was goofy and weird that you wanted that photo shoot, I thought it was refreshing
Yes.
how like very on the I would think you would appreciate her because you're
did.
like that as well. It is strange to want to do the photo shoot, but I loved it. Even though I thought it was the most uncomfortable thing I could imagine for myself and watching it, the fact that Kwame embraced it
Yeah, it was cute.
was like, oh, these people do have a chance. Like they are on the same page.
Yeah.
And even though I thought it was bizarre and weird, and they were both into it. Isn't it weird that they were both that comfortable doing that photo shoot?
I mean, watching
They
it, the
both
only thing I
seem
could
very
really
into
think of
themselves.
was that she'd be a good mother, I couldn't help.
One thing I don't
did you think that because
understand-
you could see her fallopian
I could
tubes?
see her Oh, I can now
She looks
see her as a
great.
mother. I could see a
They're
baby
both
coming out of
these
there.
tiny, fit people. I don't understand how these people are all wildly wealthy now. They had some footage of them all in their new homes.
Well, Chelsea is rich. She comes from a rich family. Not Chelsea. Who are we talking about? This is Chelsea, right?
Chelsea and
Yeah.
Micah now live in like a penthouse apartment overlooking all of Seattle. It is massive. They have 2 separate bathrooms. I'm just like, did they get paid for this show?
Not a lot, no.
Yeah,
Maybe it's social
no way.
media.
they have
I
to
mean,
get
how
paid
does a
something.
speech pathologist
Chelsea-
Their social
afford
media is
this?
even.
Chelsea's family is, I think, wealthy, and I think that was part of the
I'm guessing
appeal for
family.
Kwame, because when Kwame went and visited Chelsea's family, I feel like it really turned for him. When he's like all these, they were like vacationing on the French Riviera or something, or some Seattle version of that, like
Yeah.
like an island off
Yeah.
the coast.
It was like a beautiful dock.
Yes, and they're like, "Welcome to
roof-
the family," and there was just like it was like 6 matriarchs who were all like, "You're going to be part of something."
Man, there is something about meeting the family that there is a reason these shows do that, like meet the family thing, and it can ruin a relationship. Just some hard ass dad who's like got his gun on the table or some shit, like is sharpening his knives like on last season.
Well, yeah. Well, Zach had to run into a dad that was
Bliss's,
a big-
Bliss's dad.
Right
Evidently,
before,
Bliss's dad is now in love with Zach.
I can see that.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's all good. I don't know if in love with, but like
they're in a
He
relationship
accepts
now.
him.
he has contributed some money to
Love
their
was
life.
so
Okay.
blind.
Well, for our listeners who don't watch Love is Blind, this has been quite a detour. But let's talk about maybe they watch Succession. Because people have been asking me what I think about Succession. Because I have not spoken about it since Logan Roy passed. And I'm sorry, spoiler alert. Like, get on board. Like, you've had 2 weeks.
Yeah, come on.
Logan Roy died.
Gotta say, I
Well, it's-
miss Brian Cox. I really do.
Oh, yeah. I've been watching McDonald's commercials on repeat just to like get my Cox fix.
Wait, what?
Is
He's
he
the
on
McDonald's
those?
commercials?
He is?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
What is
Like
he doing?
recent ones?
He's the. I mean, I don't know if he's in them, but he's the voice.
No way.
Yeah.
Like dating back?
No, like current McDonald's commercials. He's the guy. He does a commercial and then he
Wow.
goes ba 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 ba.
You're
No
so full of shit.
way.
I'm just dead serious.
He's not like ba 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 ba.
right.
Fuck off.
fuck off. Fuck off.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
He gone. And I thought the same thing of this first episode without him, of like, I miss him. But then it gave other characters a chance to really shine, i.e. Frank and Ken. And
Jerry was really funny.
Jerry was great. Like I miss him, but you made a good point that Kendall is now kind of turning into his father and fulfilling that role of like this hard ass like manipulator, master
like,
manipulator.
falling into like the role that his dad would have.
Yes. And can I say, for all people who watch Succession, I was on the Succession Reddit, and someone screenshotted and like zoomed in and used like great technology to completely transcribe the letter that the entire letter that Logan
wow.
left in the safe. And he left Colin that watch, Colin, his bodyguard. Guess how much that watch is worth?
$3.1 million.
Yes.
Shut
Did
up.
you already read?
Yeah, I read that part.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
good.
No.
And so it is cool that they like wrote that letter, and the whole thing is written as he would write it. It's just a great little show.
Do you think
And,
Kendall's name was underlined or crossed out?
crossed out? It's a clear cross out to me.
Chris?
Yeah, I definitely agree. What do you think? I mean, because to me that was the realization at the end
Yes.
that made Kendall go back and go around Kieran Culkin and say, "Hey, we're gonna make my dad look like he was losing it at the end and drag him through the mud."
Yes.
Don't you think?
Because he had that
Anya?
private moment in the bathroom where he opens the letter and he looks at it, and it
Mm-hmm.
zooms in on the underlined / crossed out part. So for those of you who don't know, there's this letter that his dad leaves behind saying, I want to give my company and promote to CEO in the event of my death, my son, Kendall Roy. But then they look at the letter closely, and it looks as if he's either underlined it or crossed it out. I mean, they must have done so many versions
I
of this to
know.
have the perfect way of doing it. It's such a great moment because you can't really tell which he meant. But I think you're right. In that moment in the bathroom, alone with the document that he's really staring at it, he has the epiphany, fuck this guy who tried to cross out my name. I'm going to fuck him over one more time, because the reason they weren't going to drag his name through the mud is because they were like, we're going to honor our father in the event of his death. I don't want to say any, but he's like, which he always comes back to is, this guy doesn't give a fuck about me.
Yeah.
Fuck him and fuck off. And I think that was his moment of realizing it was a cross out. What do you guys think?
I'm only on season 1, so I have no idea
Oh, Jesus Christ.
what anyone's talking
I
about.
just ruined it for you.
No, I thought I assumed if we got to the final season of Succession, it was inevitable
by then.
that he would be dead. I mean, he must die.
Did you not hear
to-
he died based on social media or like just being online the past 2 weeks?
the news was just broken to me here, but it wasn't
Oh,
really a
I'm
surprise. It wasn't a surprise because the title of the show is Succession, which means that somebody has to move up and take his spot.
That's a good
Yeah.
point. Yeah, that is a good point. Okay, so we've talked about Love is Blind, Succession, and then really quick, Daisy Jones and the Six. I went on a rant yesterday about it. It sucks. The first episode was just pandering. I didn't enjoy it. I started episode 2, but then I got distracted. Brian, You watched Daisy Jones and the Six yesterday.
I started. I have not finished the first episode. I'm like 40 minutes into the first episode. But
yeah,
doesn't get any
that's-
better.
No,
my
all
initial
downhill.
disgust for the show is I can't stand the fake documentary that's not a comedy.
Oh God!
If
isn't
it's
it
not
bad?
a comedy, the sincerity of faking that's a camera, it just takes me out of it
Yes.
every time.
That's such a good point.
Yeah.
You can do the documentary style if it's like best in show kind of done, but it needs comedy. The sincerity behind it is so sickening.
Yeah.
And the aging of them doesn't even work. It's so,
No.
dare
They're
I
too
say,
young.
Yeah.
it's the show is that's why I hate it.
It's very cool. I can't wait for Anya to watch it and give us the lowdown because she's the closest to the. I mean, she's
Daisy Jones.
she's much better.
It's based
than
on
Daisy
her
Jones.
story.
But this is her world. Like this is
Yeah.
This is really.
Anya grew up
her,
in the 60s.
All I saw was
She was a
that
flower
clip on
child.
Instagram that's like, we need a hotel room, we need money, and we need.
No,
and
I
the
said
guy's
that
like,
to you.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
oh,
s-
these guys are idiots. I don't know
Oh,
if I can get into watching
It's
this.
so
Oh, I will.
it's so insulting. I feel like I can't wait for you to watch it. But yeah, there's one scene where she walks by this bar and you know those sandwich boards that
Oh
will
yeah,
say,
what did
like,
it say? Because I couldn't remember yesterday.
It just the way that it ended and then that shot was like leading to that. It makes me like I feel sorry for these people that made the TV show. I'm just like, you guys don't care about your. It's so weird to be watching Succession and you're like, you guys are making
Yes.
perfect television.
How can this show be
Yeah.
on the same?
It's
in
a
the same
sandwich
world?
board instead of saying like shots specials
Or like open mic night tonight.
open mic
Yeah.
night. It just says piano inside.
Yes.
So like later in the episode, she goes in and without having practiced, without having worked hard, without having like spent her life writing songs and caring and all of this stuff, goes in and sings like a perfectly formed song that she never even worked on, that you
Barf.
never even knew that she wanted to do.
Barf.
Yeah.
It was so gross.
But she
What
got
about-
yelled
and you
at by
point-
her mother, so that makes up for all that.
You get yelled at by your mother
One
and
time.
marginalized by your boyfriend who didn't even know that you wanted to use.
Can you imagine a black woman? I think she's black. She might
Yes.
be a black woman who's a backup singer in the late 60s.
Oh, this was-
is on stage and sees this white girl in the audience that just gets the music more than
gosh.
anyone else. Can you imagine a backup singer would go up to this girl and meet her at a party and go, "I've seen you." Yeah, and you know what? You're not there for the band. You're not there
For the drugs
for the
and the-
drugs. You're there for the music. And then encourage this girl to become a singer, a backup singer, whatever. Encourage a white girl to like pursue her dream. I'm sorry.
It was so the whole thing was so insulting.
There's no way that would happen. And it's just so ridiculous. And
This
you know
was
what? It feeds into that whole thing of like, no one believed in me. Like,
Yeah, I hate
no
that.
one believed in Daisy Jones. Okay, I just don't buy it. And no one, first of all, any artist that says no one believed in you, unless maybe that happens sometimes where a parent really is just cruel and says awful things. But generally, I don't think Lady Gaga was getting a lot of pushback for not being talented. As much as I heard her say at Lollapalooza one year of like, no one believed in me. This is for you, Dad. There's all these things of like, you've been extraordinarily talented from a young age. Maybe
Yeah.
people were jealous of you, but no one's ever said you didn't have it.
I agree. I actually agree with everything you're saying. However, and this might be one of those old wives' tales, but I did hear.
Oh yeah, I heard this too.
I did hear.
There was this Facebook group.
There's a Facebook group that says
Stephanie
Stephanie
Germanotta
is never going to make it.
is never going to be famous.
From way back when.
So I guess it is true for her.
So mean.
That actually is probably, but
I also heard there was a girl
she
that, like-
was really annoying.
I'm sure, but I also heard there was like a woman that used to bully Michael B. Jordan and like made fun of him all the time, and then tried to talk to him on a red carpet, and he was like, "You were horrible to me."
Oh, that's
You know,
nice.
Oh,
so-
what a dream.
yeah.
that
What
is
a
really
dream.
nice.
Go
Okay.
slam
We got to
someone.
go to break, and we're going to play top one, bottom one when we get back. Thank you for putting up with this TV segment. If you didn't watch those TV shows, I hope it was still entertaining. We'll be right back after this. And we're back. Chris, you were about to say something.
Well, I just want to say Daisy Jones was bad, but just as a palate cleanser, we watched the first 2 episodes of Beef, and it feels awesome right now.
Yes.
Like
Oh,
I'm
I just
dying to get
finished
back
it
into
last
it.
night. It is such a beautifully
Well,
done
Allie
show.
wants teeth. Our teeth.
But no,
But I don't wanna
the music, but the artwork, the title cards, the font.
The
I'm so
acting.
into everything. Yes.
It's a
It's,
fantastic.
you know what's cool about it? And I was talking to a TV writer yesterday about ideas that we were having to develop something. And I was saying, we want characters to be flawed, obviously. Not to be like bad people, because we see a lot of like they're either good or they're bad. I think people are craving weird, shameful, weird. And I don't think until recently TV has gotten into that like the first time I saw on Succession, Roman's character having a sexual relationship, kind of sexual, through a door with Jerry, who is like literally geriatric in her 70s. That was so weird. And I don't think anything like that has existed before or since, of that kind of relationship. And if it has, it's probably some like art house type thing. I think Beef is weird.
Beef is weird.
She's masturbating with a gun. Spoiler alert. There's no, this is the first scene. That is weird. And if you were to pitch that to HBO, I would think 15 years ago, it would be like, no, we're not doing anything like that. People are willing to get weird now. And I like that.
Yeah, I
Yes.
agree. Let's get weird.
Let's get weird. And let's get to top one, bottom one. And let's just get into final thought. Top one, bottom one. The category today is
Love songs.
love songs.
Love
Okay.
songs.
It was a debate between doing appetizers and love songs. So
My favorite love song is
Wait.
Loaded Potato Skins.
A classic.
you got me. I really was like, no, don't start the game. God, I'm such a noob.
There is a great
You got
song
me.
called Potato Chips that goes, potato
Really?
chips. Oh, how I wish potato chips.
Potato
from the
chips.
fifth-
Wait, you both know this?
Yeah, it's a song.
Potato
Well, it's a
chips.
guy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
a guy-
Tony Dungy's favorite song.
I was gonna say this is another fucking sports male song interlude. Chris was so originally the topic was love songs, and then I changed it because I thought Chris would probably have a hard time with love songs, just because it's like you love them too much,
Yeah.
and it would be hard to settle on one. Chris loves soft rock
rock,
more
yeah.
than anyone I know.
Yep.
So I'm interested to hear what let's start with the top love song. And Chris, are you
Top or
ready to
bottom?
reveal yours?
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, sorry, we're starting with bottom. Sorry, we
start
end on
with
top
bottom?
because we want to end on a good note.
Oh, okay.
So bottom.
So for me, bottom love song.
yeah.
God, I haven't really thought of the exact bottom, but I would say any song by Train.
Okay. Hey, soul sister.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. Any love song
oh,
by Train.
I care for
Yes.
you. I'll be there for you.
I think they
This is not a drive-by.
worthless love songs. Worthless songs.
I don't know. Drops of Jupiter.
Ugh.
You just don't like the specific lyrics.
Yes, I do not like the lyrics that guy writes.
That's something about she does Tabo reminds
Yeah,
me that
like,
he has
I
like kind
despise
of
it.
current references in it.
Yeah.
I do. I like that song, but I like Train, but I get that it's campy and and they're not trying to be.
Yes.
They're being
yeah.
sincere,
Yeah,
and
they're
it's
being-
like
yeah.
they at some point have to start making fun of themselves.
And
though.
that Heart and Soul like cover-ish type thing that they did.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was really annoying to
dun
me.
dun 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 dun. Yeah, was that? Yeah,
I
but they
didn't
do
like it.
they do crank out the hits. People seem to like
Yeah,
them.
no, people like Train. I'm not one of
Anyone
those
else
people.
have a bottom love song?
I don't like any song where a man is bragging / promising how well he's gonna take care of a woman.
T.I. is whatever you like.
Oh yeah, Anya covers it. Like what can you think of an example of what that would be?
I can't think of a specific example because I'm not good at music. But I can sing like oh I will hold your hand and take you to the
Oh wait, Chris, you have an
Promised
interesting story about Miley Cyrus's Flowers.
Oh, I don't know how true this is, but I would have to go back and listen. But I was told so she goes, I can buy myself flowers. I can take myself dancing. I can what's the next one?
Write my
Hold
name
your
in the
could
write your
sand.
name in the sand.
Talk to myself for
Yeah.
hours or whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
So there's a Bruno Mars song apparently that Liam Hemsworth sent to her.
Yeah. I should have bought you flowers and held your hand. Should have gave you all my hours when I had the chance. Take you to every party. Yeah, like he has this song of like
Great
And so
song.
all of
Yeah.
all of hers are rebuttals to all of his, I think, in a row.
Oh,
cool.
wow. That's really interesting.
So I think it's also a dig to be like, you couldn't tell me your feelings. You had to like send me a Bruno Mars song. I think it's a dig on that too. But I think that's very interesting. Do you like the song Flowers? Because you're a Miley stan. Not stan, but you like Miley.
It's grown on me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Wrecking Ball is phenomenal.
Yeah, that's Chris's like favorite song. Okay,
That's not true.
no, it's one of them.
That's
You
not
love
true
that
either.
song.
I love that song.
But it's like, I would say, like, okay, sorry. But it's one of your faves. Current pop culture
that
faves.
Yeah, of current music, current issue, because it's like 7 years old. at
Yeah,
this
yeah,
point.
yeah. I would say that was one of your current faves. Okay, Anya, what is your least favorite love song?
This song gives me such a visceral reaction when I hear it. I can't stand it, even though I like the melody. But I'm just like, I get angry when I hear it. It's The
Okay.
Weeknd,
Oh.
The Hills. But I know
Oh.
it's
I don't
not.
know that song.
It's like Mean. I only call you when it's 5:30.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
only
I like
time
that
that I'll be by
song.
your side. I only love it when you touch me, not feel me. When I'm effed up, that's the real me.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not meant to be a love song, but it's kind of. It just feels so mean. He also brags about like just
I don't
having
know.
slept with a different girl.
I don't think he's great with women. I've heard he's a
yeah.
little shady.
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe not the nicest. So that doesn't surprise me. Can you believe he's the #1 streamed artist like of all time? I
Of
just
all
don't even
time?
understand it. Like
He's
on
got
Spotify,
some-
he just like, but it seems to me like comparing him to like Taylor Swift or the Beatles, like you would stream that stuff more. But
well, I think he had mega hits at the perfect time. Like, so the Beatles probably aren't getting streamed as much because older people aren't streaming. They're
okay, that makes
they're
sense.
playing their tape recorders.
Gramophones.
Yeah, they're gramophones.
Wait, there's a John Legend song that's my least favorite because it's like, hold on. There is one.
I think
I think he's very good, but there is one that God, what was
I'm
was-
with you on this one. I'm gonna look it up.
I'm
too,
looking up
because
his like most famous songs.
I hate this song.
It's not All of Me
I
because
think
I, like
that's a
that.
bad one.
I kind of like that one. God, I'm so sorry. Let me just find this.
He's got a song called like Red Light or Green Light. It's awesome.
No, it was the song that.
You know what I'm listening to all
What?
the time now? Not to derail. This
No,
SZA
derail it up.
song, Kill Bill.
It's the best. Song. We're
Yes.
obsessed with it.
I can't stop listening to it. It's like the best song in the world.
Do you know when you first heard that song?
No.
I do. We were in the car. We were in an Uber back from dinner with Andy and Bex.
Yeah.
And I was singing it because I just learned it and I know all the fast parts. So I was kind of like singing along to it. And you go, what is this? And I was like, it's a new SZA song. She's from St. Louis. And he was like, oh, I know she is. But like, you were like taken in the moment. I remember when you heard it.
I didn't know that. I was going to send you the song because she has an acoustic version and be like, will you learn this one on a guitar?
I can play it for you when we get done here.
That's a good song, guys.
I'm still a fan, even though I was salty. Hate to see you with some other broad. Now you happy?
This is the best
Hate
song
to
in
see
the
you
world.
Happy that I'm not the one driving. I'm so mature.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. That is one of. That's a love song.
That's the best new
You'd
song.
rather be in jail than alone.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather be in hell than I like how it ends. It starts out she's like she's gonna kill her ex and his girlfriend too, his new girlfriend, and she's like I'd rather be in jail than alone. And then at the end, she's like I'd rather be in hell because she knows that's where she's going because what she just did.
What she just did.
And she thinks about doing it at first, and then by the end of the song she's like, she goes, I might kill my ex, and then by the end of the song she goes, I just killed my ex. So you like walk through it with her. It's so
It's the best song in the
fucking
world.
good.
Wow.
Oh, I love it.
I like the term salty.
yeah.
Salty,
In
In
yes.
terms of modern
Yes.
slang, salty is great, and I don't like spill the tea anymore. I think that should be over.
Yeah,
I agree with
Slay.
both of those.
What do you feel about slay?
I hate how people say it too. You know, slay. I mean, I hate
It's
slay.
so lazy.
Lazy. Anyway, I
Also,
didn't mean
yeah.
to.
It's describing things that aren't even that incredible. It's just like, I got a new sweater, slay.
I got a new slay.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. But I'm gonna derail again. Has everybody fallen in love with Frangie yet? Because I mean, He's the greatest thing going.
Yeah, people are into it.
We still talk about him on my radio show. My radio show met him like 5 years ago, and we still talk about Bring Up Frangie quarterly because of how
You did the other day. You went into a long thing. You were reading all of his Apple rankings.
Yeah, Apple rankings.
AppleRankings.com to read Brian Frangie's rankings of over how many apples at this point?
Less than I would like, but it's dozens and dozens.
Really? How many apples are there?
Thousands and thousands.
No way.
Yeah.
I went back and watched all the videos recently. I laughed at every single one, and then I read a bunch of the descriptions on air, and we got texts like people are like, "This is the funniest thing."
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
I love it. And Brian's
So good.
he's one of my favorite stand-ups of all time. So I hope people love him. I've gotten to know him well.
AppleRankings.com is saved on my bookmarks. So like whenever I'm trying to like get internet on a flight, I just click. It's always the way I test if the internet is working. So I always give you a click. I have it set to my
Wow,
friend's
that's
website
awesome.
just so I give him a view when I'm checking for stuff.
Brian's like looking at the stats. He's like, "Why is somebody in Albuquerque?" Okay, well, no,
Yeah.
no Phoenix.
I don't know
It's
what
always
I don't know what this says about me, but when you guys were talking about all those nice things, my immediate thought was like, "Oh God, something terrible's gonna happen. I'm gonna I can't accept that much praise. I feel
so like something's gonna happen on the
everyone's gonna
like,
start hating
you're gonna
me
get
now.
robbed.
No,
and
I feel
bring
like
a list.
everyone's
I
gonna
hope I
start
didn't do
hating.
that. No.
No,
Brian's like
that's
the most
my problem.
honest, sweet, thoughtful guy.
No,
so-
you're not wrong though. When people build something up too much,
Oh,
they
yeah,
gotta take
shoot.
it down.
I gotta
Okay,
be
yeah.
undercut. No, my Apple
Brian's-
ranking site sucks.
Brian
Yeah.
stinks, and if you like him, you stink too.
I'm
People
like that
love
girl's
to rally
friend.
around. Yeah,
I
no, people are
stink.
gonna be mad at me about that. I'm gonna get hate for that because I'm talking shit. And you know what? I probably should. I don't know that bitch, but she seems like a bitch, and she seems. Can I just guess? I think
She's a
she
bitch
might
and
need
she
to explore
stinks.
her sexuality because I think she is in love with Micah. That's my thought.
Who's not though?
I think there are a lot of times, and I've read about this on Reddit in different threads. I think she is in love. Anya, are you listening? I think she is in
I'm
love
drawing
with
her.
her.
Right now.
Really? You're drawing her?
Yeah, I have a little thing. I'm drawing her right there.
It says on top. I think she's in love with Micah. I think she might be bisexual. And I think that this is a thing, and maybe I'm wrong, but there is a thing that and we've all dealt with this, when you get into a relationship and you have always been the single girl in your group of friends, and all of your single girlfriends also are like, you're single with me, and you get in a relationship, your friends freak out because they don't have their single friend anymore. They feel like there must be something wrong with me. I'm alone. And what do? They can't admit to themselves that they're scared and that they're feeling like they're less than because their friend and they're going to miss their friend because there's less time being spent with them because they're falling in love with this guy. And so what do? They go, I don't like him for you, without any basis. I mean, in the end, she was right about Paul, but it wasn't because she was right about Paul.
Right.
She would have done that with any guy because she loves Micah, maybe as a friend, maybe more, but she's jealous.
No one
And
would
she
be
didn't
good
want to
enough.
lose her friend. But I bet
Nobody.
you anything that Allie had friends when she met you that were like, I just like, I'm not like sure he's like the one, and they like can't even say it because they're freaking out so much inside. I mean, I've done it with friends before. When Kirsten got a boyfriend in high school, Kirsten told me last week, and this is news to me on our girls' trip. Kirsten told me that Anthony, her high school boyfriend, broke up with her because it was ruining her relationship with me because I was such a little gay, jealous bitch. Because my best friend and I was so embarrassed when she said that. This is 20 something years later. I was so embarrassed that Anthony was mature enough to be like, your relationship with Nikki is really important and this is getting in the way of it, because I was so jealous. He didn't have the words for it, but that was it. I was jealous that I was losing my friend and that my friend was giving blowjobs. I wasn't anywhere near to even kissing a boy, let alone kissing their penis. And I was jealous. I was like, and my anger for this woman is probably just projecting, as it always is. So I have been on that side of things. Anya, do you agree?
Had the same thing with my best friend in high school. A lot of feelings of guilt when I would get a boyfriend and she did turn out gay, but not for me. But yeah, I think anytime a friend
I would disagree. But
She did
I'm
once
sure
say-
I'm sure there were crushes along the way on you.
At one point, China was like,
That's her friend.
my dream for us would be to do like a black and white photo shoot nude just for our friendship. And I was like, are you insane?
She tells me
Please ask her this at my wedding. Like, be like, what was going through your head when you? She to this day is
so
like,
funny.
I thought it'd be cool. I think it would be really neat. I get
but
you don't want to do it.
I just am like, I just had this epiphany. I was that girl. But, you know, that was high school. I don't think I would have acted that way as a 20-something. But you know what would have made me do that? An alcohol problem, which that girl clearly also has.
Yeah.
So
They were hitting it pretty hard out there.
yeah, and just like whenever Micah would just get like more kind of talking like this and like, you know, like baggy cheeks, kind of just like, do you love me?
Paul didn't think it
What
was
is
cute.
more annoying than getting a call from your fucking fiance going, do you love me? How much? No, talk to tell her that how much do you miss me? Do you love me? That was when I go, oh no, this night might not be good.
Paul was not impressed.
And you know what? He's right, because don't marry a drunk and have that be the mother of your children. I'm just saying, if you are thinking about getting married to a girl who gets sloppy drunk once in a while, it's a progressive illness. If someone gets sloppy drunk ever and like on a normal basis, it's going to get worse with age. And it's not going to be good for your children. I'm just saying, maybe from experience. So it might get in the way of things based on people I know that have drunk moms. It becomes a thing, and it starts out fun. Everyone loves a drunk girl when she's hot and young and cute, and it's once a month or whatever. But when you get lonely and your kids grow up, and you know, wine becomes more of like wine o'clock.
And pills.
It gets messy.
And then pills.
Yes, and then pills.
I've seen that on TV.
Yeah. All right. We didn't even get to the top favorite. What's your number one favorite love song, Chris?
I'm not going to say my number one favorite, but
Why?
Because I don't know. Because
just give us. Okay.
For me, one I think that people may have missed, and I don't mean to be patronizing or haven't heard in a
What
while.
about patronizing?
Well, I'm half British.
What is your favorite
So
love song?
go down to the shoppy and pick up
Yeah.
for the besties. If you guys haven't heard this song in a while, or if you've never heard it, I think people should all go listen to Yaz's "Only You" immediately.
What is that? Why have you never played me this song on the piano?
It's a song "Only You."
Is that the
by
one that
Yaz.
goes?
Yes. No. That's Yaz's other song.
Oh, okay.
Yaz
that
is a
you
form
know.
of birth control. I think I used in the early 2000s.
But they also make some great music.
What is this Only You song?
Oh, it's an amazing
I
song.
can't believe
You've
you've
heard
never played it for me.
it. Yeah, I only played for good moms.
Oh my god.
Future good moms.
My favorite love song, I was trying to think of which Taylor Swift song, and I would say it's probably one that people don't know is Daylight is a really good one. And yeah, I love that one.
Why do you like that one?
My love was as cruel as the cities I'd lived in. Everyone, something looked worse in the light. And she just talks about how like things were, and then you came along and it was daylight, 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 daylight. It just is like, it's just and I can still see it all in my, it's just beautiful. And it makes you feel like, you know, when someone comes in your life and like everything just like lights up, and you know, I haven't felt that way yet, but like I'm holding out hope. No, it just does. When I'm feeling really good about my man, I listen to that song, and it's like it's like my Chris song when we're like really good, or like when we come out of some kind of darkness.
Oh, good. You get to listen to it once a year.
On my birthday, after you sing me Lover. And have to do it. What are you going to sing this year? Only You by Yaz?
For maybe.
For maybe.
You got to get a synth.
I can't believe you've got another birthday.
It's coming up so I know it sucks.
It's endless.
I will let you off the hook. I don't require much. I just want a thoughtful letter.
Yeah, but I do that.
Yeah, you do that.
Yeah, I do that.
A letter where your name is maybe crossed out. We don't know.
Yeah. Or it's underlined or crossed out.
That's our show for today. Thank you so much for listening for this week, actually. I'll be on the road next week in Tucson, in Vegas, and then we are off to Europe for 14 cities? Wait, no, 10 cities in 14 days. Berlin, Munich, the Netherlands, Oslo, Helsinki.
And a bunch of us are going to be there, I think, right?
Yeah, Anya and Chris will be there.
And can we really quick get Anya and Brian's song? I don't think we got those.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Your
My favorite
song by
song-
Elton John.
At the same time.
Yeah,
You
all
have to
three
say
at
it
the
at the same
exact
time.
time.
One, two, three.
Your
go.
song by Elton
Fiona
John.
Apple Valentine.
Okay.
No, you ruined it. You should have done yours too.
Yeah, Noah, what's yours? Noah's is some death metal song. Are there death metal love songs?
Yeah, there are actually. So my bottom one kind of goes along with what Brian was saying. It's the song Faithfully by Journey. And I don't think it's a bad song. It's just I was listening to it like in anticipation of like meeting this guy who was driving a long way to like spend the weekend with me. And then he got there and like I liked him, but not enough for a whole weekend. So I just associated with that. And my top one is This Love by Pantera. It was my first like power ballad.
Wow.
Wait, I don't know that one
I'm
either.
gonna listen to that.
Got Maroon 5 covered it.
I thought, yeah, that's why I was like, is it this? That would be hilarious if Noah's favorite song. All right.
so
Thank you
funny.
guys so much for listening to the show. Chris, thank you for being here. It was so much fun. We will see you on tour or we'll just see you on the podcast next week. Don't be and just
Dance, it'll be okay. Did
just
I just ruin
dance.
something?
No, it was good. I needed something. I was looking into your eyes and I got lost. Yeah, guys, just dance. We'll see you next time. Bye.